back and the front. Guys, the next thing I have to do is just to trace out like another piece of this, like since the waist is not going to have a band, the next thing I have to do is just to trace like a facing. That's what I mean, a facing that is going to go all the way up to this point and maybe 3 inches into my pants. That's what I need. You can use your fabric or you can use lining, it depends on you, but I'm still thinking I might use lining for this. And then the same thing for the pants, you're also going to cut a facing that is going to come in, but definitely for this I'm going to use the fabric because I want to, instead of, I'm not making this in form of a facing, I'm just going to use a fabric that is about 2 inches and turn it over just like 1 inch, depending on the size of the elastic you're using, maybe 1.5 width of fabric, just to turn over this part here and make a casing for the elastic. So it's just going to flip in by 1/2 inch because I can't flip in more than 1/2 inch because I still need the sides to be the same length, right? The side of the front and the back to be the same length. So all I have to cut is like a strap that will go in here, and then I'm just going to use 1/2 inch to turn it over, and then the other facing of it is going to be the fabric, the inner part is going to be this cloth, and then I'm going to use it to pass my elastic in between. Then for this one now, what you're going to do is to cut your facing, cut it halfway through this way, and then you're going to join the center part of this pant. And then after joining it, then we'll come back and check how we're going to also finish up this top part of this here, because as you can see, I've also gone ahead and finished up this top. This is what it looks like at this point. So I finished this part of it here. You see what it looks like. I just have to go ahead and also do the same thing for this top, but for the top all I have to do is turn it, remove the pin, and then I'm going to just take it the way it is now. Guys, another thing I did here is to cut, I reduced this bottom part by like 1 inch and blended it in this way, but if you want you can skip that step. So I'm basically going to dart it here, close up this side this way, flip it inside out, and then close up this side. But before I flip it inside out, it depends on the length of the strap you want to use. You're going to fit in this strap inside here between the lining and the cloth and then sew it down. So I'm going to try to do that and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is the back of the pants here. You see what I did? First I joined the crotch and this is it here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to take this here, just cut a strap that goes all the way from one end to the other. You're going to use 1/2 inch. This one here, I'm going to be joining it just so it will be complete, but you can just cut yours as one straight strap, something that is like this, depending on the size of elastic you want. Use 1/2 inch to sew it down, right? And then flip it inside of it this way, flip it inside this way, and then fold the edge and sew it down. That way you've made a casing inside of this using just this strap. So that's what I was trying to explain. So you're going to just take it this way, sew 1/2 inch down all the way to the end, and then you're going to turn it in. Remember, you're turning in just 1/2 inch. You're not going to turn in the body of this, just that 1/2 inch that you used to sew it down. You're going to turn it and then use this other side. This is going to be one side of the casing. The body of this pant is the other side of the casing. So this is the top here, guys. This is what it looks like. You see what I was trying to explain? It's supposed to be 2 straps here, but for a bigger person, I don't think these 2 will be enough to hold. So what I did, and if you look down here, you will see the cover I was talking about. So basically, I dart my clothes, dart the lining, and then use that lining to sew it. I sewed this part close and then fix this in between here, sew it close, sew this part close, and then flipped it inside out. If you look this side, you see this is the side I used to sew it, and then I flipped it inside out. Once I finished that, I covered this part here. I joined this shoulder together. So basically, I use one side to wrap the other one around, you see? So the back panel, I use it to wrap around the front and then sew close this shoulder part. So once I turn it around and flip it all out this way, you see the shoulder of my cloth is done. So that's basically just like how you would do a facing. So that's how I did this here. You see my shoulder part is done here. All I need to do now is just to sew my sleeve into this part. But in the meantime, I'm going to finish up my pants so that I can join the, I can put in the elastic also. So guys, this is the pant here. You see what I was saying? This is the fold here. You see the joining part is just at the top part here. So guys, because of this is the size of elastic I'm going to be using. Guys, I know some people might be in the comment section asking me the size of elastic I use. Just pass it through this part and gather it until it's tight enough for you. There's no one specific size for anybody. The one that is enough for you is what you're going to use. So, and remember, the elastic is just at the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is just like making a pant that has elastic at the back and band in front. That's what this is. So you see what I did for the front. Basically, I picked my dart on the lining, picked my dart on the clothes, and then folded it this way and sewed it closed like this. So this is how I sewed it this way, all the way to the edge, and then folded it this way. That's why I said you're going to cut a facing like halfway through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this side of the pants and then join it. Guys, you know you can add a pocket to this. If I wanted to have a pocket here now, I will just come down here by 3 inches and then insert a pocket. So all I have to do now, mine is ready. I'm just going to close the side and then take the other front part here, join it this way. These two will be meeting each other at the center, sewing with 1/2 inch. Guys, you're going to try to use 1/2 inch even for the side. All the seam allowances is 1/2 inch that you're going to be sewing with. So I'm going to use 1/2 inch to sew. You see how neat this part looks now. So once I join it with 1/2 inch, I'm going to be left with about 1 inch of band, which is going to wrap around in front of my top, right? So I'm going to join it from the crotch all the way down. And then I'm also going to close up the side, fold the edge of my pants. So we join these two front crotch together. When I'm done, I'm going to also join it this direction, fold the edge of my pants, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we're going to cut the sleeve so we can attach it to the top and conclude everything. So guys, this is it here. This is done at this point. The pants is done. You see, the only thing remaining is this part that will wrap around my top. So what I need to do now is to go ahead and complete the top. So this is the back here. The elastic is done. You see how the sides blend into each other, you see? And then I left this elastic. Guys, you see what I'm saying? Even for myself, I don't know the elastic that will be enough, so I still left this here in case if I need more, I'll go back in, lose it, and take up some more of this elastic. If it's okay, I just cut it off. So that's after I've tested it out. So this is what it looks like at this point. I'm going to now go ahead and so this is for my sleeve. So let's cut the sleeve first. Guys, the sleeve is like a trumpet sleeve, but I've already, this short at this top took me 2 yards for almost extra large size. So I'm trying to maintain at least 3 yards for this. So the trumpet sleeve, normally how you would cut it is you fold your fabric almost like you're trying to cut an A-line in an angle form, and then you put in your 4 inches of sleeve cap height like this, and then you go ahead and mark a straight line just like how you normally draw your sleeve, and then mark a straight line across. Halfway through the straight line for me is 5.5. Give it a curve below and a curve above, and just like that you angle your sleeve and give it a curve. This is, I've done this trumpet sleeve several times, but and also consider your sleeve length and your sleeve length and the seam allowance. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead and find a way to manage this so that I can cut out my own. But if you're trying to cut yours, like I said, all you have to do is to fold your fabric into two, tilt it in an angle form, and then put in your sleeve width, your armhole width, draw a straight line across, and then that way you will get the trumpet sleeve. So that's basically it. I'm going to do mine now, attach it to the top, and then bring back everything so you guys can see. Guys, my jumpsuit is done, everything is done. So instead of sewing mine across this way, I just used a center stitch following this center line to sew it down, like this stitch in between here, just to keep it neat. So this is basically my jumpsuit here. I wrapped this around here, and then I attached my sleeve. Guys, this turned out better than I expected, because this is my first time of doing this here, so it's really nice. And yeah, I hope I explained it better. Guys, you might want to so like I said, use 1/2 inch here. You can always put in your pocket if you want to, and then you finish up the bottom part, fold your pants. Guys, just if you want, you can turn yours into a jumpsuit. Like I said, it mustn't be a one part like this. I'm just managing fabric, that's why. Just the same thing, continue the length, and that is it. This is the back. You see everything, you will see it when I wear it. It looks really nice. And like I said, for the strap, what I did here is just to give it a loop in between. But if you're more on the small size and you want to do exactly what is on the picture, just one on the bottom, one at the top here is enough. But I needed something in the center just to hold it together. So that's basically it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.